Now, there was a story, I told it on the show, and I asked Tim Conway about it, and he confirmed it, about Pat McCormick and helicopter.
Yeah, it's a true story, but I doubt that he told you all of it.
There's more to
Well, tell me then.
it. There's actually more to this story.
Well, many of us have wives or girlfriends, and we jeopardize them by telling this story.
I see. Well, we don't want to put you on the spot.
And we have contracts. Some do in various places.
Yeah,
And there are morals clauses everywhere.
I had heard Pat McCormick and his showbiz pals, most of them writers, would like to get together and outdo each other. Each one would take turns taking the other ones out to lunch.
Hosting, yeah.
Yeah, and each one would do it by like a bigger restaurant and fancier things. And then Pat McCormick has everyone...
I don't want to interrupt, but let me just add bits and pieces.
Oh, okay.
McCormick was the first one up. I think Mazursky or someone chaired the meeting and said, okay.
Paul Mazursky.
Yeah, this is going to cost somebody some money. Who dares go first? And McCormick was flat on the table, screaming and yelling with his hands in the air. And I'm saying, yeah, I vote for Pat. So everybody voted for Pat. And
so he went up first in the helicopter. McCormick.
Well, it's more complicated than that.
Okay.
By first time, and he said, yes, I'll take the first lunch of the month. And we thought, it can't be better than this. We're all screwed, actually, because McCormick will put us all in the toilet, which he proceeded to do. Shall I tell you how? Yeah,
Yes.
Might as well. It's a story that's been around for some years anyway. So we were all working for various television shows. We were writing. I was writing for, whom was I writing for? I can't remember
Gary
anymore.
Moore show, or was it that far back?
No.
Uh-huh.
I think I was writing for Steve.
Uh-huh.
And McCormick and Mazursky, there are good stories here, were writing for Danny Kaye and his show.
Right.
And then I heard everyone was invited to a heliport.
No.
No.
Limos came and picked all of us up at our various places of work. So we got reports later of this mysterious long black limo sidling into the parking area of where I was at ABC on Vine. The others were on more expensive properties, I think. Where were you working, Gilbert, at that time?
He would have joined you happily.
Oh, but when you hear the rest of it, there's no one in this room who wouldn't join me happily. So we're driven by these limousines. We're not told anything. And when we ask questions of the driver would turn around and say, oh, we're not allowed to speak out loud, sir. Okay. And McCormick, when he wanted to, could really look threatening because he was, 6'6", would you say?
Yeah, something
and
like that.
300 and something pounds.
Were you a little scared while this was going on?
Not yet. And we were driven in our limos out on the field at LAX, one of those private fields.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy gunned the limo and squealed up as near as he could get to this big helicopter. Everyone out. I think there were 3 limos. There might have been 4, but we could hear our friends. Everyone was a comedy writer. And they're screaming punchlines at us. It was a game in which you yelled the punchline. Somebody immediately made up the joke that had the punchline.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I spent the weekend with Eleanor Roosevelt, but I got to say this about her. When she isn't doing this, she's doing that, something really nasty. But I was assaulted for it in the next couple of days after we did this show. And somebody said, lay off him. It's a joke. They're just jokes. Nobody was killed for a joke. Well, those of us like me, historians in the group, I should have come up with 5 rejoinders, but I couldn't. Gilbert, you're fast and funny, and you're a compendium of oddball facts.
He is.
What should I have
To
said?
say the least.
I've never heard that. That's the most flattering description. Odd and funny, and
Well, I could have condensed it all. You're a polymath. Isn't he?
He is.
Look it up if you think I've insulted you.
Now, but I heard when you got to the airport, you were all given a paper bag with like an apple and a tuna sandwich.
We were given a box, a carton with lunch in it. I don't know where McCormick picked up this rapidly rotting food, but
They were looking at this like, what the fuck is this? This is our great lunch?
our gourmet lunch, yeah. So we all had our little lunch boxes, and I guess there were some beverages, probably some of a boozy ability, but mostly just soft drinks. And then there were a couple of figures that we didn't recognize. We didn't think they were prominent comedy writers, but because they looked and dressed like prominent hookers, which of course is what they were. So this had taken a lot of research on Mazursky's part. He had all our home addresses, which he gave in the order that he wanted. He gave them to the pilots, and each in kind, the chopper would fly over and hover over our house while one of the girls serviced us.
So it's true. All these years later.
And I heard the ending was that one of the writers, when he got home, his wife said, so how was your night? And he goes, okay. And then he goes, how was your night? And she said, it was okay, but there was a helicopter circling the house.
And it sounded like somebody was swallowing.
This is an historic moment in the history of this show. Buck Henry is confirming the helicopter, Pat McCormick helicopter story.
I've told that story a bunch of times, but boy, to get it from an eyewitness is amazing.
Mouth witness. What?
It's showbiz history.
What percentage of the people you told it to believed you? Believe that the anecdote was real.
We discussed it with Ronnie Schell. Who else?
Ronnie was one of our group.
There you go. He confirmed.
I remember I once met Tim Conway, and I walked over to him and I said, I heard a story, it's probably bullshit, about Pat McCormick. And he goes, helicopter?
Yeah, there was a shorthand for all of these indecencies that helped us get through the day.
Fantastic.
We all had to go home and face our nearest and dearest. All of them would say, so what happened? What was the big deal? Where did you all go and what did you all do?
Wonderful. Buck, we can't thank you enough for this.
It's been a hugely satisfying pleasure, but I can't think why.